Hello world of YouTube and welcome to another Carversation. 2 in a month, yes baby! Because I'm going to be the 8,000th nerd to talk about Marvel Phase 4 and the 800th nerd to talk about what he got wrong in his theory video. If you guys didn't know, I made a Carversation about the future of the MCU. Click the card to check it out. This video is going to go over spoilers in the MCU so far. So if you haven't watched them and you want to, don't watch this. Or if you don't want to hear somebody's theories about the future of the MCU still, don't watch this. But so they announced the next phase of the MCU, and I'm really hyped for it. One of the big things I got wrong that I'm glad I got wrong was Thor. I got the Captain America thing right from Endgame, but I talked about that. It was pretty obvious they were going to do one of those two things. But Thor, I got way off. In the video, I thought that they were going to talk about, or they were going to introduce someone like, because Natalie Portman didn't show any interest in wanting to return, and I didn't think they were going to recast Jane Foster. But as they revealed with the new Thor, which I love the title of Love and Thunder. It's like a twist on another Thor arc I've been trying to get my hands on. They have Jane Foster, Natalie Portman back as Jane Foster to take the handle of Thor, which is awesome. I'm also glad that they're incorporating more TV shows into the MCU because I think it's smart. It is going to get people to join the Disney Plus service as well, but it's a good way to keep players that may have been phased out of the movies in the MCU proper still through like TV shows and stuff, because all of the shows that they've announced are like spin-offs from characters from the movies, which I don't blame them because now they're at a point where they're having some hard sells. Like, the only sequels you've announced so far are Doctor Strange and the 4th Thor movie. That's a hard sell. And when one of your movies, the next movie you're doing isn't even like continuing the story, it's more a setup piece, that's a hard sell to people because the other movies they've got coming are the Eternals, which even I'm not that super familiar with, Shang-Chi, and that's it. Because the other ones are TV shows. Black Widow is the next movie, which I'm hyped for, and I talked about that in the future of the MCU, but I guess I got that right as well. It's going to be a side piece because they're not going to bring her back. I'm hyped for that Black Widow movie. I liked The Winter Soldier. It's one of my favorite MCU films. And I'm hyped for the Taskmaster to be put in the MCU. I like the Taskmaster. He's a really cool anti-hero villain type character, and I'm hyped to see him go up against Black Widow. I think that's a good character for Black Widow to go up against. Plus, this could mean that he could be in the next Spider-Man movie, which is gonna be fucking dope, if that's true. Do a little theorizing for the next Spider-Man. I hope, it's probably gonna be a Sinister Six villain, but I hope the Taskmaster is also in it in some capacity. But either way, I'm hyped for Black Widow. I'm hyped to see what they do with the Eternals. I actually kind of want a Disney Plus service because I want to see what they do with Loki and Hawkeye. I think with Hawkeye, they're going to set up Young Avengers. I think they're going to use that to set up Young Avengers because, you know, Hawkeye's training his kid in the beginning of Endgame, so it only makes sense for that. Yeah, it'll be cool to see the Winter Soldier Falcon show, and I think WandaVision is going to be interesting too, because the Doctor Strange sequel has Scarlet Witch in it, so we'll see how that comes together. But I am hype as fuck for that Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange, not gonna lie, one of my favorite films of the MCU, and I've been secretly becoming a pretty big Doctor Strange fan. I've been buying a lot of Doctor Strange comics, and I like Doctor Strange. He's been my gateway into even more weirder Marvel. So, and in tandem with weirder Marvel, I am hype that they are making What If a thing, because that's gonna have so many interesting repercussions. Even if it's animated, it's still gonna be really cool to have this sort of a lot of what if scenarios played out for the MCU. I like that they're making that a thing. That makes sense, you know, because what if is an interesting component of the Marvel comics. So I'm glad that they're making it a show in any capacity, even if it's like an animated show. And I'm glad that it's like canon with the MCU. That's really neat. And the other really big announcement that they announced was Blade, which they didn't announce a Blade movie. Like, they didn't announce when it was coming out. They just announced that Blade is a thing, and the dude from Luke Cage and True Detective is going to be Blade, which I am sold on. That dude was great in Luke Cage as Cotton, so I'm hyped to see him play Blade. The one thing that I was shocked about that they didn't go over was Guardians 3. They didn't even talk about Asgardians or Guardians 3 or anything like that. And they didn't talk about, like, they said X-Men and Fantastic Four are coming, which is fine. But I'm amazed that's all they said. They didn't announce anything. Because, like, as you saw, if you watched the theory video, I kind of made a big point to say that, like, Fantastic Four and X-Men are probably going to be their biggest, like, selling points for the future of the MCU. No, they're banking on what they got and are going to plant some seeds, I'm guessing, towards the future. And I'm guessing, again, gonna theorize a little bit here, I'm guessing the Eternals is where they're gonna tease Galactus, because I'm still banking on Galactus being the next big villain guy, because he's the next logical step to go to from Thanos. So I'm banking it's gonna be Galactus, and they're gonna use the Eternals to tease him. Yeah, but I was shocked. No Guardians 3, no Asgardians, no Fantastic Four, no X-Men, no mutants. Like, they said that they're coming, but they didn't have, like, any definitive announcements, which was shocking to me. Come to think of it, not any mention of Black Panther or Captain Marvel or even Ant-Man, which was kind of surprising. I don't think Paul Rudd is signed on for a third Ant-Man, but I'm sure they could do something with Ant-Man's future. But Captain Marvel, for sure, especially given one of the scenes in Far From Home, or the fact that Ryan Coogler has also said that Black Panther 2 is coming. And also, there were other things in Endgame that were teased and hinted at, but not even explored, like A-Force. There's just no mention of it. So, again, kind of ballsy, kind of shocked that they didn't try to shoehorn in more of those characters and were like these new properties and the Disney Plus things. But hey, we'll see how that works out for them. They're really letting people decide what they want, and they're using these Disney Plus shows to get people to, again, to buy into a new streaming service and the MCU more, you know. So I'm guessing that this phase is going to be a lot of seed planting, given what they've announced, what movies are coming out, and what they didn't show. Those are my thoughts. That's kind of what I think is going to happen with the future of the MCU and the announcements that they made. I'm happy with the announcements they made. I'm excited to see Black Widow. I'm excited to see the Eternals and see what they do with them. And I'm hype as fuck for that Doctor Strange sequel and Thor 4, even though those are the farthest off. What do you think? What did you think about Marvel's announcements for Comic-Con? What do you think of the future of the MCU? Are you still excited? After Spider-Man Far From Home, I couldn't be more excited for the MCU, because that movie just... I'm already hyped for a new Spider-Man movie. I'm not surprised they didn't talk about Spider-Man or any of the projects that kind of have just come out, or like a new Hulk or anything like that. I'm not surprised at that. This seems like small scale / very abstract scale, and I'm cool with that. I feel like that they're resetting to something else bigger, so I'm hyped. But what did you think? Are there any topics you'd like for me to discuss in a future conversation? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support here on Patreon. I have been Viral Rack. You guys have good days, lots of situations, and I'll see you another day.